Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Sal. Today we have a special guest, and her name is Rania. We're gonna basically go into her background, her life, and we have the amazing Mr. Braden. Mr. Braden, introduce yourself.
Hello, guys. My name is Braden. For those of you just listening, I'm a psychology student here in Canada. I also say that I'm a philosophy student because I take a lot of philosophy classes as well. I've also taken a couple of politics classes, which will be relevant here in a second. So that's my thing. Now to the guest. We
So,
have
Ron,
Rania here.
yeah, go ahead, Braden.
Rania, introduce yourself. What is your name? What is your, well, we already know your name, but what is your background? What do you hope to achieve? What are you up to? And what do you want to talk about and express on this podcast?
Sure. Salam, guys. Hi, everyone. My name is Rania Ramadan. I'm Palestinian American. I have a bachelor degree in political science, and I'm finishing my master's in law and governance. And fun fact about me, I have an associate in math, which is not related to politics. And I'm bilingual because I was raised in the Middle East, then came here after high school. And that's basically it about my background. And for what I wanted to get out of this podcast, like we're trying to raise awareness about the policy and politics in the United States, because like we just had an election, and every election we get asked the same questions, like who to vote for. So we're trying to raise awareness how to let people know and understand how politics works in the States, because a lot of people they don't know their rights as US citizens. They don't know how to participate their rights. Like the election, voting is one of your fundamental rights. So that's basically it.
Awesome.
Nice.
Awesome.
You want to start it off, Braden?
Sure. Let's get into we were talking before the podcast, and I was asking Rania what she wants to get out of the podcast. And one of the things was there's the red party, there's the blue party, but there's not much uh, integration and compromise between these parties. And I mean, that's at least the sense that I that I got. And you also have other parties. You have the Green Party. You have uh, again, I'm not an expert in politics. That's why we have the guest. But yeah, I'm curious of what you see as a good balance point. Like what you see as d- can for those listening, can you explain the major parties of the United States, just what they stand for, their values, and then some similarities and differences between those parties, and then maybe try to uh, integrate them if possible.
Sure. So the two major parties in the US we have the red, which is conservative Republicans, and we have the blue Democrats, liberal. So the main differences, as I mentioned, conservative and liberal. So some like conservative, they're more into religion. They focus more like to follow religion, the Bible, and like when it comes to education, like for example, education system, they trying to protect the kids from learning about like the LGBTQ, and they don't see, I'll say, like in a good way, but they treat like citizens as machines. Like if you work, the more you work, then you'll make money, then you can live in the United States. They don't give like the minorities their rights in the US, as we're seeing now with ICE agents, deportation. So that's the main explanation of the conservative. But when it comes to liberal, they're more into the Democrats. They're more into like human rights, I'll say. Like they're more into the freedom to give freedom to
Mhm,
everyone,
mhm,
and they're trying to change the constitution to help all minorities and help all like different culture, different religions, and they're trying to force like one of the main thing between the both parties is trying to force educate LGBTQ education for kids and like from age 5, I'll say. So you see, that's why some people will vote for like one and not the other because it depends how they believe. So these are the two major parties in the US, but people only think that they have only red and blue. But the fact is, we have other parties that works for the people. It's also like the Green Party. And like I'll say like last year election, I worked with the Green Party. We tried to raise awareness that if you vote for, like, if you get a 5% in the presidential election for the Green Party, then it's gonna get it's like the benefits like the other two major ones. But people did not understand because for decades they're thinking, okay, it's only the major ones. So they forget that there is independence, there's green, there's like people who willing to work for you for the citizens, but they're not getting any chance to do so.
Braden, you want
mhm,
to
mhm.
expand on your question?
Yeah, so they're not getting the opportunities to do so, and the
Because there's no
government.
one voting for them. And so the government won't help them, like give them their rights as organization. Because here the system works. If you get like over 5% in the presidential election as a party, then they recognize you in the government as a party, and then you'll get the benefit like the other two major ones. But unfortunately, we did not even get like I don't remember the exact number, but it was less than 5%. Even though we did like a lot of social media work, we advocate, we did like the presidential was the candidate was Jill Stein, and she herself like stood like speak out for everyone. But I guess because they're used to it, no one really wanted to
Yeah.
change.
I'm curious where you stand personally on that issue. Like, are you more Green Party? Are you more uh Republican, Democrat, conservative, liberal? Like, where do you personally stand? Like, what do you want to advocate for?
So that's what I wanted to explain for like the US citizens. Like it's not about like again, it's not about red or blue. It depends like I'm not gonna stay like a Democrat for all candidates for like 20, 30 years of my life. It only depends on the candidate. So if I see a candidate that deserve my vote, even if I don't agree with their party, but I see their policies like will works best for me, then I'll vote
Hmm,
for them.
hmm.
That's how
Yeah,
I
that's
vote.
smart.
That's
That's smart.
yeah.
Yeah.
So there's no such thing, oh no, I'm Democrat, I'm liberal. You'll see me sometimes like if like the past election for Zoran Mamdani, I'm not into like the past election last year, I was not more into like Democrats elections, but like the past one for New York, Zoran Mamdani, I liked his way of like advocating for human rights. I like he stood for New York when he was asked the question like, "What's the first place you want to visit if you win?" He said New York. That's how it's supposed to be, not any other foreign countries. So that's why if I'm living in New York, then I'll be voting for him. But I live in Jersey. So, and the same thing here. Like, let's say we had Mikey Shore and the other guy was Jack. Jack was a Republican, Mikey for Democrats. I don't agree with the Mikey Shore, so I voted for the Republican, even though for in New York, I'll vote for a Democrat. So it depends about like the candidates we have.
Yeah.
Like for the past election, I was leaning more into conservative than liberal based on
Hmm.
my like based on a lot of things because I believed like Kamala Harris, the candidate we had for Democrats, she was not representing herself like with different policies. She was only continuing whatever the past administration with Joe Biden was doing. So I was like, I felt like, that's not a good fit for us because we had already enough 4 years of a corrupted Joe Biden system. So I did not want to have this again for another 4 years. So I leaned more towards a conservative, but at the same time, when I saw a candidate like Jill Stein, I was like, she deserves a chance too, because conservative will take it to the extreme, as we're seeing now with like the ICE Asia and deportations.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's always depends on the candidates we have.
Yeah, so that sounds awesome. It sounds awesome that you have quite an understanding about the politics arena. And I would say then, like to kind of further this conversation, is that what do you think is like the next steps for the evolution of the American politics?
So to be honest, after what I saw in the past like last week with the new
Hmm.
elections, I feel like there's a hope in the politics, in the US politics. I feel like maybe a decade from now, I'll say maybe 20 years from now, we'll see a different. Like, because people start understanding, like, okay, giving minorities to run, like, to give your vote for minorities, like Muslim socialists, like Zohran Mamdani. We never thought of that, especially after, like, I'll say 9/11. You'll never think, oh, a Muslim guy will be a mayor for New York City. That was
Yeah,
like impossible.
yeah,
But so that's why I feel like there is hope. There's, and also another elected was for, I believe, Virginia. She was the first Muslim to win statewide. So I'm seeing a lot of like Muslims entering the politics arena. So I feel like in the next maybe 20 years, 30 years from now, we'll see a huge, like a big difference. Maybe as a president
what did you
of,
follow up with Canada at all? Like or like what's your opinion about Canada politics since he
I
lives
don't
there?
I don't follow a lot in
Right,
Canada.
right. Yeah, I understand, understand.
So
Everybody,
maybe I'll
there's so
hear
much.
Braden.
Yeah, yeah. If you want, Braden, you could chip in your 2 cents, like or whatever you could put $10. There's no problem.
Okay. Yeah. I think that that makes sense. I'm curious what policies you agree on and which policies you don't agree on. Um, it sounds to me that you agree on uh you agree on helping people that are basically equality of opportunity. So everyone gets the same opportunity, but not necessarily equality, and correct me if I'm off, equality of outcome, where everyone gets the same outcomes, everyone gets the same uh, resources. I don't, it sounds to me that you don't agree with that, but you do agree with the equality of opportunity. And and then you also mentioned minorities, and it also seems to me that you're for minorities, you're for um, helping out those minorities and giving them a voice, giving them a presence, giving them opportunities.
Yeah.
So those are a couple of policies that you seem to agree with. Are there any others? Like what are some, give me like the top three policies that you're really an advocate for and policies that you're not so fond of.
So I'll say not like three, like the idea of policies, I'll say it. Like as you mentioned, the minorities. Minorities for me, like it's the bit like the main issue in the United States, because like every human deserve a chance. And we all came here, our parents, generation back, came here for the American dream. So if we don't give them the American dream, where else to go? Like if we're funding armies to kill in their countries, to have wars in their countries. So they're leaving their countries to come here for a better life, for a safe place. At this, so if we kick them out, so what's the point then of the American dream? So I'm against like the whatever is going on with the ICE, like with ICE deportation. I'll agree in one case because I work in court before. I did like two internships in the courthouse. So I've seen a lot of, I'll say not illegals, people who doesn't have pay documentations here. They maybe did like few crimes, maybe sexual harassment, maybe abuses, maybe a fraud. So I believe, yeah, those people need to go out, need to leave the country because they're making our society worse. It's not a safe place anymore for us to live in. But if someone who's like willing to work for the government, not for the government, work for the country, like we've seen a lot of like, I'll say maybe Hispanic people, they work in construction, they work in everything, right? A lot of Americans, white Americans, won't accept working in jobs like that. So why would I deport someone affecting my economy and my workplace, the labor, just because, oh, they're illegal? There's no one illegal. We're all here. If we're gonna name them illegals, then everyone else also illegal because we all came here migrated, and the country, the US, is for the what they call Indian, like Red Indians, right? They're the indigenous of the country. So everyone should be illegal if we're gonna name them that. So that's the main thing I don't agree with the red one, with the conservative about. Another thing I don't agree with the with the blue one, Democrats, is like the education system. Like I feel like when it comes, for example, to buy cigarettes here in the US, I believe you need to be above 21 or 18, I'm not sure. So why would they force the education about like um changing sex and for like kids who's like only 5, 6 years old? I feel like that's not fair without the consent of their parents. If I see my kid need like an operation to change their sex, then yeah, that's a different story. But the fact, oh, my girl just like to play with like soccer. Oh, let's change her gender. I feel that's not fair. So I'm against that for from the side of like the blue party. That's the main two like the issues for me because like I want to raise my kids in a safe place. I want to raise my kids in like a and put them in an education system that I know will come back to me if anything. Like they'll call me, oh, we see that for like with your kid will have my consent, not just doing any operation for my kids just to live all freely in this country. But when it comes like for some kids, like their parents don't have papers, right? If they want to give their parents papers, they need to be above 21. So the fact like you need to be above 21 to give your a mom a document, but it's fine to change your gender as a 5, 6 years old, that's hypocrite. Like it doesn't make sense for me.
Mm.
Yeah, and another thing too. So you mentioned a lot of things there. Um, Couple things come to mind. Number one is most people that, let's just say you have gender dysphoria at 5. So you have gender dysphoria at 5, or let's just say 10. Most of those people by 20 or by 18 grow out of it. I think the numbers is like uh it's actually pretty high. I think it's like 70-80%. Maybe Sal, you can fact check that. We can check
Yeah, I'll
that
check
out
it.
later, but
I'll check it
it's
with you.
pretty high. So, and it's a irreversible, it's not like something where you dye your hair or something. No, it's like an irreversible type of procedure. And the number one thing that I think should be pushed in schools is critical thinking and how to gain uh, independence and well-being and all of that. That's what I think should be taught in schools. But everyone has a different thing. What should not be taught in schools is ideas about, gender studies, and that just contradicts with biology and with science, and it's uh it's very grotesque in my opinion. So I agree with you there. And then you mentioned the immigrants, how people say they're illegal. And the way I kind of see it, but I'm curious on your take, is as long as they're contributing to the country in a meaningful way, and they're not taking something from, like, they're not criminals, they're not uh selling drugs or whatever, that's then let them let them be, I would say.
Exactly.
And so that's
Exactly.
and then you also mentioned uh minorities and giving them a a voice. Can you expand on the minorities part? I didn't really understand. It's not that I didn't understand. It's my fault. I just didn't uh conceptualize that aspect of what you were saying.
Sure. So, like minorities, what I meant, like me as Palestinian American Muslim, right?
Hmm.
I feel like we're not being treated as other Americans. We're being treated as a second class, not first class
Yeah.
citizens. So I see the difference in a daily basis, like the way I've been treated. Like maybe it's not anymore about like skin color. Like back in the days in the 60s, 70s, it was like either you're black, white, right? If you're white, then you're gonna discriminate against the black, and black will be like the victims in this case. Now it doesn't matter your skin color. If you're a minority like Muslim, hijabi that wears the scarf,
Hmm.
then people will treat you as second class. Even though, like, I'll say, like, with all respect to everyone, to all like humans, regardless their skin color, but so, you'll see some people will like it happened to me an incident before.
Hmm.
A group of Hispanic people, like Hispanic, that they've been treated as a second class too, because they're minorities in some areas here in Jersey.
Yeah.
They were racist against me. I'm like, bro, you should be in my side. Like, we should be all together, united, because we're being like discriminated against. But here you see, no, like they're all against, like they have the one enemy. And that's also the same thing when it comes to politics. They treat like they have like, they hate Muslims no matter if they're like, even if I go out now, I present like Republicans. Oh no, she's Muslim.
Yeah.
If I want to
Yeah.
present Democrats, same thing. So for us as minority, we don't see ourselves like in either party or in either like with the other people because they treat us like second class. So
Yeah.
I feel like,
Hmm.
sorry, I feel like after the election, the last election, like last week,
Hmm.
I feel there's hope for us. Like, oh, maybe a few years from now, if I run for office, people will see like, oh, maybe they look at my policies, not how what I wear or how I look.
Yeah, yeah. So I know like the issue nowadays is that there is many political parties, right? And in Europe, to be specific, they have this thing of like it's like a stigma, like Islam is taking over, right? Like
Mhm.
this thing. I'm like, dude, like, what are you talking about? Like, they're in like the Middle East by themselves, like, and most British people, for example, they were like, hey, like, all these Islamic people are taking over. I'm like, what do you like? Who do you think like makes these decisions for people to rebel? Do you think it's the Muslims or do you think the people of your country? So and that's like it comes coming back to that, like the hatred of like Islam is like, oh, he's a Muslim. Oh, like basically they're gonna do the Sharia law, right? That's like the biggest thing. It's like Sharia law, right? It's like you obviously never visited a Arabic country in your life, and you just like see Afghanistan like the only thing that when you think like of Islam, because she like I don't know if you grew up there, Rania, but I grew up in Egypt. We don't have that stuff there. Like any person that even comes from these countries, they don't think like that. Like it's more of like a stigma thing. So it causes like politics tension, and it really causes the truth to not be revealed. Because if like Braden, if Muslim people were to like in our countries, yeah, we're Arab countries, but we still have Jews, we still have Christians, we still have all these religious groups. We even have like people from all kinds of religions that in Syria they have different types of religions, you know. So it's not necessarily they just want to kind of present to the American public is that image of any person that is from the Middle East, he's a Muslim, like so you should treat him like a Muslim, like someone that runs yelling and then says Allahu Akbar. That's basically
Exactly.
that's basically what it is. So, but yeah, I don't know
But you
what
don't
you.
see it when you like, let's say, like, if, let's say, his like 10 Colombians win the election in New Jersey, you wouldn't hear that, oh my God, Colombians are running the
Yeah.
state. But only when, like, oh, Muslims, oh my God, the Sharia law, they're gonna, like, oh, they're gonna force women to cover up, they're gonna, like, change our education system, they're gonna cut taxes or whatever, be corrupted. But, like, when it comes to the truth, having Islam like rules, if you want to practice the real Islamic rules in a country, it's gonna take it to the better way, not backwards. That's how I see it. That's why they don't want it to the truth to be believed. Like, oh no, we hate Islam, we hate Muslims. They're not racist. They're terrorists. They call us that just because like they know if we take a hand like for in politics, if the more of us, you'll see a better cities, better states. You see, like I'll say, like there's a lot of like I don't want to go into that, but
Mhm. I know what
like
you're saying.
the economy for like the gun factories will be less purchases because we don't believe in like owning gun, shooting like schools like others do.
Yeah.
Also, like for when it comes to drinking, you won't see that in a like drinking factory. The purchases also will be less if you follow the right Islam.
Right, right.
That's why
There's
they don't want Islam to be like in control of the
yeah.
country.
Yeah, and I could attest to that. I don't follow like just one thing. Like, Rania knows me. Like, I grew up as a Christian and a Muslim at the same time. So, I understand both sides, and I look Hispanic. Like, when people look at me, they think I'm Hispanic. So, I don't get discriminated against, but because I'm friends with Arabic people and I talk the language, so I see them get discriminated against because he looks so Arabic, like he has the Arabic face, if you know what I mean.
Exactly.
But yeah, like definitely, like you had an Arabic best friend, right, Braden?
Oh
Or
yeah. Well, I still do. It's not
I
like he disappeared or something.
have no idea.
It's not like he's on Venus or something. No. Um, but yeah, I think it's very disappointing as far as where we are in the world at the moment, which I don't typically like to blame the world. I like to kind of take responsibility for my kind of actions and what I do and stuff like that. And I'm sure you do that too, Rania, but at the same time, there are some issues that need to be addressed. And one of the things you mentioned earlier in the podcast was the US, and our country does it too, Canada. All the G7 countries do it because apparently they like to massage Israel's back, so to speak, in a very thorough manner. So, yeah, my country here in Canada gave I think a trillion to Israel recently, or maybe not a trillion, but at least a billion, and that's quite sad. Where that money is actually going, Who knows? I would assume it's to fund the war and to uh pretty much
Education,
can't
health system
yeah,
for them.
you can't really say the word these days, but it is I mean, let's just call a spade here. It is very much a genocide what's going on in Israel and Palestine. So that's yeah, it's very bad. Um and we have these countries like the States and Canada supporting this. So and there's not the truth of the matter is too, there's not much I can really do about it. There's not much you can do about it. There's not much Sal can do about it. Um we have a little bit of power, but when you have these people that are billionaires, supporting Israel, and if you don't, you get canceled and assassinated and all this.
Mhm.
That's been going on for centuries now. Um, yeah.
What's your opinion on it?
I think when it comes to the issue, not the issue, the conflict between Israel and Palestine, that played a very vital, like important role in the United States elections from last year and this year.
Hmm.
Like before that, a lot of people did not like think, oh, we're gonna vote because the US gave money to Israel or not. No one even cared. Like it happened for 80 years, for decades from the creation of Israel, right? But after the like 2023, I'll say everyone like paid attention. Where is my tax money going? So everyone like, oh, so I'm not gonna vote for Joe Biden administration as Kamala Harris because she is gonna keep funding Israel. She's gonna keep funding the war, the genocide, and it will never stop. So one of the things why a lot of Arabs, a lot of Muslims, especially Palestinians, voted for Donald Trump was because he said, I'm gonna stop the war.
Yeah.
So and instead of focusing on his policies, they focus more on his like policy towards the Middle East,
Hmm.
towards Palestine to be specific. So I think, and also like you said something, Braden, like, oh,
Mhm.
we have limited power. I don't agree with that because if we all say like I have a limited power, you have a limited power, we'll never be united. We'll never have a power. It's not about what we need, it's about what we want. We want a change, we need to be united to do the changes. But if I'm like, oh no, I need $10 to buy food, it's different than no, I want $10,000 because I'm gonna grow like a business or something. So you become more, I'll say like strong, and you'll have more plans, and no nothing can break you once you think, no, that's what I want, not what I need. I want to change. I know now what make them billionaires. The workers, the labor, right?
Yeah.
So if we have a protest against like something we don't like a lot of countries here, even in the US, like we had a lot of protests in the past few years that helped. Like, oh no, like we can't keep working like funding, like let's say organizations that related to Israel. Or when
Yeah.
it comes to the makeup market, for example, they boycott like some makeup, some Starbucks, the most
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Starbucks, yeah, because of the boycott, they closed a lot of like stores, hundreds of stores, if not thousands of stores. So we all need to be like, no, I have power. Like myself, I have power into me. Like, and the more we are, like, the united we get, the change we'll see it like sooner.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Mhm.
And I found falafel wraps in Starbucks apparently. Just because, I was
Hmm.
like, I was like, that's interesting. They never had that.
That's a new thing in the menu.
Yeah, spicy falafel. I was like,
They're
okay.
trying to buy us.
Well,
It's I also find it a bit odd that all of these countries and all of these schools and education, they're pushing the same agenda. Like I went to I don't know if you've heard of Queen's University, but it's a Queen's it's a school in Canada, and they were pushing the the gender studies on me like it was, um like crazy.
Like the Bible?
And no, not the Bible, not the Bible. No, the opposite of the Bible. The
No,
opposite of the Bible.
like the Bible. Like like it's like analogy.
Oh, yeah,
Like
yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why I ended up leaving Queens because I didn't like that environment and I didn't like where it was going. But I do, yeah, I do agree that I do agree that we have power. It's just I guess I'll revise what I'll what I'll say, and I'll say on the surface it seems like we don't have much power because it's kind of like looking up to a mountaintop and you're like, holy crap, like this is a long way to go. This is a lot of injustice here that we're facing. And sometimes it seems like you have little power, no power, limited power. But the truth is that you have an incredible amount of power if you're intelligent and if you play it smart,
It's the
and
way you
express
look at
yourself in
it
the right
too.
way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's the angle you
yeah,
look at it too.
exactly,
Yeah, that's beautiful.
exactly.
I want to interject here, yeah, and I just
Sure.
wanted to add, like that, yeah, like I definitely like I did have. I feel like Braden, I grew up as like kind of mixed, right? But I could say, I know my Arab friends, they were influenced by the brainwashing of, you are a terrorist, so you should feel guilty all the time, right? Like you should feel that you did something wrong, and just accept the humiliation, right? Like accept that you're not good enough for to be in this society, right? Like so whatever we give you, you should like kind of kiss the hand that feeds you, that kind of thing. And that's the biggest issue, and that's a thing not just for the people I grew up in. It's a worldwide issue, that they subliminally,
Yeah, you got that word right. Yeah,
yeah, they subliminally,
yeah,
kind of focus on throwing messages in the media, throwing messages in politics, throwing messages in the movies, music industry, uh, fitness industry, even health, like all these things to kind of mess up your health or to give you a bad thought or to make you believe a bad belief. And they control the population through that narrative of unconscious, kind of manipulation. So people are not even aware that they're being, like, they think it's the demons or they think it's, this or this person. Oh, it was Omar or it was, with George, But meanwhile, it's a deeper problem. It's more of like, the beliefs that are being instilled in these people. You know what I mean? I don't know what you think about that, Rania. That's something that I really had an issue with growing up, not feeling like I was good enough, and like the whole thing with the 9/11 and
You
friends
feel
joking
guilty.
around and all that stuff.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
Once when they find out like I'm an Arab, like I don't know what's your take on that.
Yeah, as I mentioned before, I feel like we're treated as a second class Americans. We're not equal to the rest. And you even like feel like you're guilty of something, like you did something even maybe before you were born, right? Like, oh no, you did 9/11. I'm like, I was only 10 when that happened or something. So I agree with that. And also, whatchamacallit, I wanted to say something. Um,
What was it about?
the same topic.
Same topic.
Um, yeah, like they blame you for something you did not do, Just like, and the big like very recent example of it, like in the past election, I'll go back to the elections because like that the main thing. When Zoran Mamdani ran against Como, Como had like a lot of cases against him as a sexual abuses, right? But like, and he's a Democrat, but then the Democrat did not endorse him, so he ran as independent. When you saw what I saw, like Donald Trump, even though he's Republican, he's like, I endorse Cuomo, even though I don't like him, just because we don't have a Muslim guy to run the mayor. I'm like, you don't agree with Cuomo, like you hate Cuomo, you don't like Democrats, you don't agree with their policies, and also to add to it, a lot of women went ahead and voted for Cuomo, even though before they were advocating for women rights. No, we're never gonna vote for someone that has sexual abuses against him, but they
Mhm.
went ahead and voted for him just because they don't want a second-class American as a Muslim socialist to run New York and the state. So I agree with you on that.
Great.
Yeah.
Braden, you have anything?
Yeah. Yeah, this idea of repression and treating people like second class citizens, it runs very deep in history. Uh, because my background is English from England, and back in England, England has a very rough history. And one of the things was, peasants uh and then it kind of works its way up from there. But as far as what I think the solution is to this, I think just more awareness would
Hmm.
be is probably the number one thing. Like if
Yeah.
you're not aware of the problem, you're not going to be able to fix the problem. So
Yeah.
that's I would say number one. And then it's very tough because I think there's just a logical fallacy in like I wouldn't there's a logical fallacy in what when they're making fun of the whole of you Sal and maybe you too, Rania, about the 9/11 thing, and then they create, memes about it and everything like this. And the fallacy is just because you belong to a specific group, that doesn't mean that every individual in that group is bad, you
Yeah.
know? So don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, so to speak, and treat kind of every individual as an individual is
Yeah.
kind of what I believe.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah.
definitely agree. And I just wanted to say that, I feel like just as they uh, condition us for the negative, we can condition ourselves for the positive. We can push our societies, our people, our groups, and our families towards a better direction with constant uh, mind washing, because that's honestly what's happening to us. With constant positive feedback, constant uh, obviously constructive criticism, and knowing like how your mind might act in certain times, like not thinking your thoughts, right? Like, because if they can do it to us, then we could do it to ourselves, like, and that's really it, like if we can't really control how we're being influenced, then someone will.
Yeah, I feel like we gave them the green light years ago when they start calling us the Middle East.
Mm.
Because they start with the name like, oh, you Middle East. No, we're not Middle East. We're countries. We're
Yeah.
separate countries.
Yeah,
So
and
why
not
you
just the
got us
Middle
in one?
East. I just wanted to mention that. Like, I believe also for Americans and also for Canadians, also in every country around the world, because it's
Yeah,
usually a very small amount of people that rule over the majority of the land. And that's not fair. God never meant for that to happen, regardless of what religion you practice.
of course.
But I cut you off. Please continue.
I know. So like yeah, that's what we started with like long time ago. I feel like we gave them the green light to put us in categories that we didn't, or third word they call us, right? Third
Yeah.
Yeah,
world
yeah,
countries. I'm
yeah.
like, no, like who are you to put me in a category, right? Just because maybe my skin color is different or my beliefs is different. We're all at the end of the day, we're all humans. We came from like we're all humans. We have the same body. Nothing like you don't have extra hand or extra brain other like than me, right? So I feel like we should all be treated equally. And as Braden said, awareness. That's why my mission is and my vision for the future, using my platforms, my social media, even though if I have like, I'll say 10 followers, I don't care about how many followers I have. I care about the awareness I'm putting there. Like back in 2024, last year, I was posting nonstop about Palestine issues, like the genocide happening there, and also the occupation that been happening for almost 80 years. And I received a lot of like messages on Instagram saying, "Thank you so much for raising awareness. We did not know that existed. We did not know that happened before." So I feel like the awareness, raising awareness, we need to focus on that. And also as minorities, like let's say like I'll stick to Muslim Arabs, a lot of us like doctors, engineer, lawyers, but we forget like, okay, but if you want to make a change, not only as a doctor, you need to run for like for office. Be more involved in politics. Let your kids, instead of forcing them to go to medical school or become like a lawyer, be
Yeah.
like, no, you can do politics. You can, because we need someone to present us in this country, especially like when we treated like a second class. So that's the main, like my main vision vision for the future.
I love it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I
Go ahead.
guess if you don't know, if you're not aware of something, you can't change it. Like if you can't really blame somebody for doing an action that they're not even aware.
Aware of. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
yeah,
so
I would say awareness is probably what other than because if you're aware of like let's just say uh I don't know, I'm aware that I need to lose weight or something. And that's sort of a problem for me. And now it's from my unconscious to my conscious mind, and I'm aware of that. Is you what I guess my question is what then? You know, like
What
what's the next logical step from awareness? Like is it just what do you see as the next step?
actions. So after you raise awareness, people will hear about that story, like what happened with me like last year. When people thank me, oh, we didn't know about that in Palestine. They all gathered and they start going to protest. They start putting pressure on this on the government. So like you take into action. You do your part as a human. If you know something, if you know like you want to lose weight, you're not gonna say, I wanna lose weight and sit doing nothing, right? You're gonna go there,
Yeah.
post, I need to lose weight. Is there any help? Like, can someone help me? Can someone like guide me what the next step is? So but we have to start at some point, and the some point is raising awareness,
mhm.
posting online, even if you don't have enough followers, just post anything. You don't know, maybe someone will benefit
Yeah.
of
Yeah,
it and
I
will
think
put
I
pressure.
I think it's the social rejection, Rania. I think a lot of people are scared of their story not being seen. Like it's the end of the world, right? Like
Yeah.
I'll be direct. Like I lost people for posting the truth. Like I lost people
Yeah,
for
me too.
unfollowing me. I got people that were like, "Hey, bro, like it's not that serious," and I'm like, "Not that serious." I'm like, "Dude, like you're getting like destroyed." Like, I'm like, "What are you talking about? It's not that serious."
But you
It's
kept
like,
posting.
yeah, like just kept
Exactly.
posting. Yeah, and
Hmm.
it's the ones that most people wanna think. Most people they just never given the opportunity because they're saying if you think for yourself, oh, it's dangerous. If you run a business, oh, they can there's taxes, they can get you the IRS. So every single thing that is independent, they kind of surround with a lot of punishment and a lot of kind of fear. So people don't even think about thinking for themselves. Because if they do that, it's going to be a problem for them, you know?
Yeah.
So that's bottom line, like in everywhere, Canada, the US, regardless
Mm.
what country it is, like they understand in the in Egyptian politics we had a president that was basically taking the money of the people to basically spend it on the religious dinners and the religious visits he do. You don't know where that money's going for. Like he could say, I went to the mosque and I spent like $20,000. You don't know if he actually spent that money. It's more like, yeah, good luck. You know what they did? There's a revolution. You know what happened next? He's out of office because he was like, oh, I have to leave because millions of people were in the streets. Like so, but that's the thing. Um, like when people gather and when people understand that, you know, through faith and through just seeing the vision of how you want things to happen, and taking steps towards it, and not letting that fear, that like the fear really is how they get you, and they inject that in the movies, they inject that in the politics, and in your psyche, even growing up in high school, because they don't teach you business. Why they don't teach you business? They want you to be scared of business. Like
Exactly.
I did business. I understand the ins and outs. There's nothing to fear. It's just you need the knowledge of what to do, what not to do. That's it. Like
Exactly.
anything.
And exactly. And it all start with someone. Like it has to be with someone that will change the whole world. Because like as we seen back into I'll say 2010, 2011, if I'm not mistaken the dates, the Arabic Spring when it started back in Tunisia, it's only started with one guy that he felt offended when a female cop, told him to take his stuff and walk away because he was doing counterfeiting, like selling fake goods on the street. So he felt very offended. He burned himself, and then the revolution started in Tunisia and took all over the Arab countries. So it only like started with one guy, and look what we are, where we are now with after the Arab Spring. A lot of new presidents, a lot of like we got rid of a lot of corrupted systems. Like I'll say like in Egypt, in
Yeah.
Syria, in Yemen,
Yeah.
and Tunisia itself, because they were just stealing money and
Indonesia
making
also and
yeah,
Nepal. Yeah. Yeah.
exactly.
The two revolutions that just happened recently that removed like the ministers, the basically their presidents.
Hmm.
You know, these are big things. Like these are like a whole country changed their president with force. Like you're gonna get out, like that kind of thing.
Exactly. Exactly.
So
Yeah, because sometimes the only really option is uh to start the revolution. I mean, if the because usually what happens, there's kind of like a cycle to it. Usually what happens is it becomes so oppressive and so uh it's rather dictatorship or it's communism, but those two are kind of the same thing. Like a communism is pretty much like a dictatorship because you have someone at the top who's controlling everything. But but the revolution starts because pe the group of society is not being taken care of properly. So obviously something and then boom, something's got to give,
Mhm.
and
yeah,
that's where it happens.
yeah. The
Exactly.
So
I don't see the U.S. dollar going down in value enough that will people will do something now necessarily. But because you could follow it in every history on Earth. Like people do something when they need to do something, when they can't feed their children. Like that's when they go out to the streets. It's not before. Like so until that happens, like it's not gonna happen. Like because people don't respond to wants, they respond to what they need, really.
Really.
That's what I noticed.
Exactly. Hmm.
Yeah, unfortunately, it is what it is. Like, and you could see it in Germany with the whole, you know, Hitler thing and people, and maybe it was radical and it was too much, so on and so forth. But you know, people they couldn't, you know, they were basically barreling like buckets of money
Yeah,
for like the bread store, and sometimes it wasn't even enough.
exactly. That's why they should stop before, like, oh. I can't afford to feed my kids. They should stop before, like use their critical thinking. Like, no, we want to change. We want before we get to consequences, bad consequences.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we'll see what's gonna happen. I just know that it's different for every country.
Of course.
But I would say we want to move on to the next segment because we already on that hour mark. So for the next segment is like, so what are you planning on doing now, right? Like in your current state, you mentioned that you had a vision, and that vision was that you're. So I know that you said that you're going into obviously like studying, right? Education. Is there anything else you're doing right now?
So as of for now, I did before legal fellow. I was helping with the cases like discrimination cases and stuff. I did that for a year last year.
Hmm.
And this year I was working in the courthouse for like almost a year also as an intern. And I'm almost done with my master's in law and governance. So hopefully after that, I'm planning to, inshallah, run for office. But I need like to do first like I need like sponsorships, fundraising and stuff like that. And
Yeah,
I need like a support from the community. I have policies. I'm not gonna share it now because it's a secret. I don't know.
Of
But
course.
like
Yeah, no problem.
yeah, but I'll share it like hopefully like in the next few months. I'll say less than a year from now.
okay.
So that's my vision for future. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we said like for now though. For now, you have anything?
For now, I'm focused on my thesis because I'm doing my last semester in my master's, and
Okay.
after that, we'll go from there.
Okay. And really, like for you said, for the future, you're gonna run an office. Now, did you think about running as an independent or a following a political party?
No, I'll run as an independent.
Okay.
Yeah,
And Braden, you have any follow-ups?
Well, I think that's amazing and that's awesome.
thank you.
So yeah, that's really quite something, and you're on the path to get there.
Thanks.
Doing your master's thesis, which is quite phenomenal. Um, do you plan on doing a PhD, or are you just gonna kind of stick with the master's for now?
So I have two plans. I'll see like after like the whole like running for office thing. If I don't win, hopefully I'll win. Because I know I'm smart, I can do it. And with the help of the
Yeah.
community, I can do it. But like, if not, there's always like plan B, either going to law school to become like a criminal attorney, because I want to like also defend like minorities again, and or like go doing my PhD in psychology. So
Nice.
either one.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but in the meanwhile, also, like, I don't have a job now because I'm
Mhm.
focused on my master's, but I'm
Yeah.
doing a lot of posting on social media
Yeah.
because, like, I want to keep raising awareness, even though they signed, like, no more genocide happening in Gaza, but still there's an occupation. So I want to keep posting about, like, Palestine. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's beautiful. I think one step at a time, and you have a vision, and I think like, like me and like my friend Braden, me and him, we have talks, and like one other thing that stuck and that I told him about, it's like you can't lose if you don't quit, and winners don't quit,
exactly.
so
I agree.
eventually one step at a time, and just following the right strategy. And yeah, and that's honestly like what kind of like it kind of hit me. But anyways, uh I would say then, when it comes down to, you coming on here again, we would love to have you again in the future if that's okay with you.
Sure, I would love to. And thank you guys for having me today, too.
Of
You're
course.
welcome.
Of course. We will I will share his contact. Obviously if you have any links, you can send it to me and I'll put it in the podcast episode when we release it. And Braden, obviously, do you have anything to ask? I was gonna ask her like the final question with you know, the, the basically like if she knows someone, so on and so forth. But Braden, you have anything before I ask?
Not particularly. Not particularly. I think we covered the main things. So
Nice.
at the
Okay.
moment, no.
Okay. Sounds good. So I would say, yeah, my final question is that because we want to grow the awareness in basically the movement of the truth, right? Like so, me and Braden, we
Yeah.
really believe in that. Like we want to know how to get people to all be on the same page, and not because we're better than each other, but because we're all like equal in the eyes of God, right? Like we want to really help everyone. Like, and that's why honestly we created this podcast in the first place. So who do you think would be good to interview next that you are aware of? Like, do you have top three people in your mind, or you only know one or two, something like that?
I feel like I know someone, she was a campaign manager for
Okay.
years. She has a lot of experience in the political system.
Hmm.
So maybe you should like invite her here next time.
Sure.
Her name is Jessica Barcol. I
Okay.
can send you her Instagram or
Okay.
her number. I'll ask her, and I can
Yeah.
send you her
Double check.
information.
Yeah, double check. Yeah, because I know, I would rather go through someone than just do it directly because she doesn't really know who I am.
Yeah, I
Uh,
can ask her
you know,
after this.
and we would love to, also have you on here again, and even maybe a mixture between you and her on the same call, and we can all discuss it. It's no problem. Otherwise, like you've been amazing today.
Thank you so much. Oh, and there's another guy also. He's in politics. He
Okay.
works for Kid Action. Maybe you know him. I'm not sure. His name is Ali Jarrah.
No.
So maybe I also can ask him for you guys. They're
Yeah,
more
if you
into
can
volunteer.
ask him.
Sure, I'd
Yeah,
love.
we would love to. Yeah, we want to. We really want to help people. Like that's our goal. That's our mission, and that's what really made us start this thing in the first place. Because we want to really provide value to everyone and ourselves in the process.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah,
I'm
this
proud of
podcast is
you
called
guys.
Critical Minds. Did we
Yeah,
even
I noticed.
did
Yeah,
we
I
even
saw.
announce that? Yeah. All about
Yeah,
thinking critically and honoring the truth. So
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
that's what we're about.
Well, that's awesome. You
It was
guys,
my pleasure, guys.
Yeah,
yeah,
See
thanks
you
so
both.
much.
us
Thank
as
you.
well. Us as well. Well, you have a great rest of your day. If you have
You
any
too, sir.
links, you can send it to me, Rania. And I'll attach it like your socials or if
I
you're
can send you my Instagram.
sure.
Like, yeah,
Yeah, and you can if you're endorsing anything specifically, I can also like put the links for that. And let's say if you have like plans for something, let me know. I could attach certain things or whatever you want me to. So we can like further helping you grow. Like that we really want to help everyone grow, and that's why we want to like bring on people and help them also in the process. So definitely like let us know, and
yeah,
yeah, if you want us, just let us know. I'll forward you also Braden's social media,
yeah,
and
please.
yeah, of course. And
Sure.
that's it. Thank you guys. We're gonna end this. Braden, you want me to end this or you want to?
I'll end it. This has been Critical Minds. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time. Take care.